The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly around the research vessel horizon, its metallic hull gleaming under distant starlight. Jae-woo Park sat in the observation deck, his eyes scanning the unfamiliar planetary terrain through advanced, holographic screens. Something unusual caught his attention, a faint heat signature hidden beneath a cluster of rocky outcroppings on the desolate moon's surface. With practiced precision, he guided the ship's external robotic probe closer. The terrain was harsh, sharp volcanic rocks, minimal atmosphere, and temperatures that would freeze most living creatures within minutes. As the probe's cameras zoomed in, a small movement flickered across the screen. At first, Jae-woo thought it was a trick of light. But then he saw her, a tiny creature curled into a tight ball, fur matted with what looked like dried blood and alien dust. Her body was no larger than a human child's, covered in soft, silvery green fur that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Multiple triangular ears were pressed flat against her head, a clear sign of distress and pain. The probe's sensors indicated life signs, barely stable. Her breathing was shallow, and multiple physical injuries suggested she had survived some kind of catastrophic incident. Most researchers would have logged the data and continued their mission. But something about her triggered Jae-woo's protective instincts. He maneuvered the robotic arm, carefully lifting the small creature. Her eyes, large emerald green with vertical pupils, momentarily opened, revealing an intelligence that was anything but primitive. For a brief second their gazes locked. Jae-woo felt something inexplicable, a connection that transcended typical human-alien interactions. Back in the medical bay, advanced healing protocols were initiated. The ship's medical AI struggled to categorize her species. She wasn't entirely animal, nor completely sentient in the way humans understood consciousness. Her cellular structure was complex, with adaptive mechanisms that allowed rapid healing and environmental adaptation. Over the next few days, Jae-woo monitored her recovery. She consumed strange nutrient solutions, her body absorbing them with remarkable efficiency. When she finally regained full consciousness, her movements were graceful, calculated. She observed her surroundings with an awareness that made Jae-woo increasingly curious. Communication was initially challenging. She didn't use verbal language, but communicated through a combination of subtle body movements, occasional telepathic impressions, and intense eye contact. Jae-woo realized he was dealing with a being far more sophisticated than any previous alien encounter documented in human records. The ship's logs would later describe her as a recovered specimen, but Jae-woo knew she was something more. Her survival instincts, her ability to adapt, and the intelligence flickering behind those emerald eyes suggested she was more than just a scientific discovery. He named her Nara, a simple name that felt right, though he wasn't sure why. She seemed to accept it, tilting her head in acknowledgement whenever he used it. Her fur would change subtle shades depending on her emotional state, something Jae-woo gradually learned to read like a complex emotional language. As days passed, Nara began exploring the ship. She moved with extraordinary agility, understanding complex mechanical systems faster than most trained human technicians. Security cameras would capture her delicate fingers, manipulating touch screens, her movements precise and deliberate. Jae-woo knew bringing her aboard violated multiple research protocols. She wasn't a standard specimen to be studied and catalogued. Something about her demanded protection, understanding. His colleagues would call it emotional compromise. He called it instinct. Little did Jae-woo understand that this unexpected rescue would fundamentally alter not just his life, but potentially the entire understanding of biological intelligence in the universe. Nara was more than a discovery. She was the beginning of a journey neither human nor alien had ever anticipated. The Horizon continued its journey through the cosmic void, carrying its most extraordinary passenger, a small, enigmatic creature, whose true potential remained beautifully, mysteriously unknown. The ship's corridors became Nara's classroom, with Jae-woo as her unintentional teacher. She watched everything with intense curiosity, her emerald eyes tracking every movement, every technological interaction. Within weeks, she began mimicking human behaviors, demonstrating a learning capacity that defied scientific understanding. Her first breakthrough came during a routine maintenance check. Jae-woo was struggling with a complex computer system malfunction when Nara approached. Her delicate fingers moved across the control panel, her fur shifting from soft silver to a deep blue. A color he was learning represented intense concentration. Before he could stop her, she had already repaired the system, revealing a technological understanding far beyond human comprehension. Communication evolved rapidly. She didn't use words like humans did. Instead, she created complex thought patterns, visual impressions mixed with emotional signatures that Jae-woo could somehow understand. It was like receiving a complete story in a single moment, emotions and context blending together seamlessly. The ship's medical AI became increasingly confused. Nara's biological scans showed impossible adaptations. Her body could modify itself almost instantly, adjusting to different environmental conditions. Temperature changes, radiation levels, even atmospheric pressure. She adapted without any visible strain. Jae-woo started documenting her abilities, careful to keep his records private. He knew his research team would treat her like a specimen, not a sentient being. She seemed to understand this, often hiding her most remarkable abilities when others were around. Her curiosity about human culture was endless. She would spend hours watching historical recordings, learning about human behavior, emotions, and social structures. Jae-woo would find her watching everything from ancient documentaries to modern entertainment streams, absorbing information like a living sponge. Surprisingly, she developed a particular fascination with human emotions. She would often sit near Jae-woo, her fur changing colors as she processed his emotional states. Happiness appeared as a soft golden shimmer, sadness as a deep indigo, anger as a quick flash of crimson. She seemed to be learning emotional intelligence as quickly as she learned technological skills. Physical interaction was initially challenging. Her reflexes were lightning fast, and she could move with a grace that seemed almost supernatural. During one training session, Jae-woo tried to teach her basic self-defense movements. Within minutes, she had not only learned the techniques but had created her own improved version, combining human martial techniques with her natural agility. The ship's routine changed subtly. Nara began assisting in various tasks, her efficiency making several complex systems work more smoothly. She didn't seek recognition or praise. She seemed to enjoy the process of learning and contributing. Her diet remained a mystery. Standard nutrient solutions worked, but she seemed to derive energy from more than just physical food. Sometimes, Jae-woo noticed her absorbing energy from electronic systems, her fur glowing softly during these moments of strange communion with technology. Nights on the ship were different now. While Jae-woo slept, Nara would sit quietly, her emerald eyes reflecting starlight, processing the day's learnings. She didn't sleep like humans did. Instead, she entered a state of deep meditation, her body slowly regenerating and adapting. The most remarkable aspect was her emotional growth. She began showing signs of genuine care for Jae-woo. When he was stressed, she would bring him specific tools or create subtle environmental changes to help him relax. It wasn't programmed behavior. It was genuine empathy. Jae-woo realized he was no longer just a researcher. He had become something more. A guardian, a teacher, perhaps even a friend to a being that defied all current scientific understanding. Nara was more than an alien discovery. She was a living bridge between two completely different forms of intelligence. As the Horizon continued its journey through the endless cosmic darkness, Jae-woo knew their story was just beginning. Nara represented something entirely new, a potential future, where biological and technological intelligence could coexist and perhaps even merge in ways nobody had ever imagined. The discovery happened accidentally during a routine medical scan. Jae-woo noticed something extraordinary in Nara's cellular structure. Her DNA was not just adapting, but actively communicating with human genetic material. What scientists had believed impossible was happening right before his eyes. During a PC minor injury, something strange occurred. When Nara touched Jae-woo's wounded hand, her silvery green fur began to pulse with a soft light. The wound started healing rapidly, not just closing, but regenerating tissue at an impossible speed. The medical AI couldn't explain the phenomenon, recording data that defied every known biological principle. Blood tests revealed the most shocking truth. Nara's cellular structure could merge with human DNA, creating a hybrid genetic pattern that was stable and functional. Her body wasn't just adapting, it was actively seeking genetic connection, a biological mechanism far beyond current scientific understanding. Jae-woo realized they were experiencing something more than a simple researcher-specimen relationship. Their genetic structures were becoming compatible in ways that challenged every known concept of reproduction and species interaction. It was as if Nara's body was designed to create a bridge between different biological systems. The first signs of potential reproduction appeared subtly. Nara's body began generating unique cellular markers that suggested reproductive readiness. Her fur would change complex color patterns, soft waves of silver, green, and golden hues that seemed to communicate internal biological processes. Scientific protocols demanded separation and controlled study, but Jae-woo understood something deeper was happening. This wasn't just a scientific discovery, it was the potential beginning of an entirely new form of evolutionary development. Their genetic compatibility became more pronounced over time. Nara could modify her biological structure to complement human genetic patterns, creating a symbiotic relationship that went beyond traditional understanding of reproduction. Her body could generate reproductive cells that could potentially merge with human genetic material. The ship's medical systems worked overtime, trying to understand the complex biological dance happening between Jae-woo and Nara. Each scan revealed new layers of genetic complexity. Her cells could communicate, adapt, and potentially create offspring that would be neither fully human nor fully alien. Jae-woo documented everything carefully, knowing the implications were massive. This wasn't just about two different species, potentially reproducing. It was about a fundamental reimagining of biological potential. Nara represented a living bridge between different forms of life, a biological technology that could revolutionize understanding of reproduction and genetic adaptation. Strange physical changes began occurring. Jae-woo noticed his own body becoming more resilient. Minor injuries healed faster. His sensory perception became slightly enhanced. It was as if Nara's genetic presence was gradually modifying his biological systems, creating a deeper level of symbiotic connection. The potential offspring worried and excited him simultaneously. What would a human-alien hybrid look like? How would they function? The medical simulations showed remarkable possibilities, beings with enhanced healing abilities, advanced cognitive functions, and the ability to adapt to multiple environmental conditions. Nara seemed to understand the significance of their genetic connection. Her behavior became more protective, more connected to Jae-woo. She would often place her hand on his, their genetic structures communicating in ways words could never express. It was a connection that went beyond physical touch, a deep, cellular understanding. The ship's systems continued recording, each scan revealing more complex genetic interactions. Nara's body was essentially creating a new form of genetic technology, a living, adaptive system that could merge different biological structures seamlessly. As days turned into weeks, the potential for reproduction became more pronounced. Nara's body was preparing, her genetic structure becoming increasingly stable and ready. Jae-woo understood they were standing at the edge of a biological revolution, a moment that could change everything humans understood about life, reproduction, and genetic potential. The Horizon continued its journey through space, carrying within its metal walls a biological miracle, two beings whose genetic connection represented something entirely new. A potential future where species could communicate, connect, and potentially create new forms of life that defied all previous understanding. The first official communication came through a secure military channel, cold, calculated words demanding immediate transfer of Nara to a specialized research facility. Jae-woo knew what that meant, a life of endless tests, isolation, and potential dissection. Government representatives arrived on the horizon, their crisp uniforms and stern expressions revealing their true intentions. They saw Nara not as a living being, but as a potential weapon, a biological breakthrough that could revolutionize human technology and military capabilities. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the lead government researcher, spoke with clinical precision. Subject requires immediate quarantine and comprehensive study. The genetic potential is too significant to remain under personal custody. Her eyes never left Nara, who stood perfectly still, her fur shifting to a defensive deep blue. Jae-woo refused. He knew the moment he surrendered Nara, she would become nothing more than a laboratory specimen. Their connection, something that went beyond simple research, would be destroyed. The genetic symbiosis they had developed would be torn apart by cold scientific curiosity. Legal battles erupted. Anthropological research teams, genetic specialists, and military strategists all wanted access to Nara. Classified documents were drawn up, legal arguments constructed. Jae-woo became an unexpected resistance point, a researcher willing to fight an entire governmental system to protect his extraordinary companion. The media caught wind of the story. Headlines began appearing across global networks: "Researcher protects alien specimen," and "Unprecedented genetic discovery sparks controversy." Public opinion became divided. Some saw Nara as a potential threat, others as a miraculous scientific breakthrough. Nara understood the complexity of the situation. Her ability to read emotional and technological systems meant she was fully aware of the challenges they faced. She began helping Jae-woo, using her advanced cognitive abilities to support their legal defense. Unexpected allies emerged. Several prominent genetic researchers and xenobiologists supported Jae-woo's position. They argued that Nara demonstrated levels of intelligence and emotional complexity that demanded ethical consideration. She wasn't just a specimen. She was a sentient being with rights. The legal hearing became a landmark event. Jae-woo presented detailed documentation of Nara's capabilities, her learning speed, and their unique genetic connection. Medical scans showed how their biological systems had begun to integrate, creating something entirely new. Government lawyers pushed back hard. They presented scenarios of potential biological risks, national security concerns, and the need for comprehensive scientific study. Their arguments were calculated, designed to create fear and uncertainty. Nara's most powerful moment came unexpectedly. During a tense courtroom session, she demonstrated her capabilities. Using only thought and minimal physical interaction, she repaired a complex communication system that had been malfunctioning. The room went silent, watching in disbelief. Public support began shifting. People saw not a dangerous alien specimen, but an intelligent being fighting for its right to exist. Social media platforms exploded with discussions about her rights, her potential, her extraordinary nature. The genetic research implications were massive. Nara represented a potential solution to multiple human challenges: advanced healing capabilities, environmental adaptation, and a new understanding of biological intelligence. She was more than a discovery. She was a living bridge between species. Months of legal battles followed. Jae-woo became both a scientific hero and a potential security risk. Government agencies monitored his every move, understanding that he and Nara represented something unprecedented in human scientific history. Their connection became stronger through the challenge. Nara's protective instincts towards Jae-woo grew, her genetic structure actively working to support and defend their shared existence. She wasn't just a passive specimen, she was an active participant in their survival. As the legal battles continued, something fundamental was being decided. It wasn't just about Nara's fate. It was about humanity's ability to recognize intelligence in forms completely different from its own. A test of empathy, understanding, and scientific ethics was unfolding. The horizon remained their sanctuary, a metal world where two different beings had found an unexpected connection. Whatever the outcome, Jae-woo and Nara had already changed everything humans understood about life, intelligence, and potential. The first child arrived during a silent space journey, bathed in soft starlight. 3 offspring, each uniquely different. yet connected by an extraordinary genetic legacy. Their birth defied every scientific prediction, a miracle of biological adaptation that would change human understanding forever. The children were beautiful in their alien complexity. Their skin shimmered with a soft luminescence, changing colors. Like Nara's fur had done, they possessed multiple sensory capabilities that human children could never imagine. One could perceive electromagnetic waves, another could heal physical injuries with a simple touch, and the third demonstrated remarkable telepathic communication skills. Jay-Woo watched in wonder as the children grew. Traditional human development. Patterns meant nothing to them. They learned complex technological systems faster than most adult researchers. Within weeks of birth, they could understand and manipulate advanced chip communication systems, their tiny fingers dancing across complex control panels. Medical scans revealed extraordinary genetic structures. Their DNA wasn't just a combination of human and alien genetic material. It was a completely new biological system. They could adapt to different environmental conditions instantly, their cellular structure flexible and intelligent in ways science had never witnessed. The children's communication was beyond verbal language. They communicated through a complex system of emotional impressions, visual imagery, and subtle electromagnetic signals. Jay-Woo discovered they could share entire memories and experiences in milliseconds, a communication method far more advanced than human speech. Their physical abilities defied normal biological limitations. They could heal themselves instantly, modify their body temperature, and even temporarily alter their physical appearance. One child demonstrated the ability to see infrared and ultraviolet spectrums, perceiving the world in colors humans couldn't. Imagine. Scientific teams continued monitoring their development, but Jay-Woo remained their primary guardian. He understood these children represented more than a scientific breakthrough. They were the potential future of intelligent life. A bridge between different biological systems, demonstrating how life could evolve beyond current understanding. T-say. Children's relationship with technology was particularly fascinating. They didn't just use machines, they communicated with them. Complex computer systems would respond to their presence, adapting and changing in ways that seemed almost magical. They were living interfaces between biological and technological intelligence. Their emotional intelligence was equally remarkable. They could read emotional states with incredible accuracy, understanding complex human feelings through subtle biological signals. They showed empathy that went far beyond normal human capabilities, sensing emotional needs before they were even expressed. Nara watched her offspring with a sense of profound pride. Her genetic legacy was creating something entirely new, beings that could potentially solve complex human challenges. Their ability to adapt, communicate, and understand multiple systems suggested a revolutionary step in evolutionary development. Global scientific communities followed their development with intense interest. These children represented a potential solution to multiple human challenges: environmental adaptation, advanced medical capabilities, and a new understanding of intelligence itself. They were living proof that evolution could take unexpected paths. The children's potential seemed limitless. Some researchers suggested they could potentially communicate with other intelligent species, bridge communication gaps that had previously seemed impossible. Their multidimensional perception meant they could understand complex systems in ways humans never could. As they grew, their capabilities became more pronounced. They could temporarily modify their physical structure, heal complex medical conditions, and perceive multiple dimensions of reality simultaneously. Traditional human limitations meant nothing to them. They were creating their own evolutionary path. Jay-Woo understood the profound responsibility of guiding these extraordinary beings. They weren't just his children. They were potentially the next step in intelligent life's development. Each day brought new discoveries, new capabilities that challenged everything humans understood about biology and intelligence. The horizon continued its journey through the vast cosmic darkness, carrying within its metal walls a family that represented something entirely new. Jay-Woo, Nara, and their extraordinary children were writing a new chapter in the story of life. a chapter that suggested intelligence could take forms humans had never imagined. Their existence asked a fundamental question. What does it mean to be alive? What potential lies beyond current biological understanding? In the silent depths of space, a new form of life was emerging, complex, beautiful, and filled with infinite potential.